So the Boron letters, it really is the stuff of legends. Most likely you heard about it in a couple of places and you're like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And well, in this video I'm gonna unpack it a little bit and I will already share a secret. You can read them for free. So after watching the video, check the description and I will have a link there to the Boron letters themselves. So what to expect from this video. So I will summarize what the Boron letters are about in a nutshell. I will talk about what makes them any good. I will relate it to the 48 laws and also why it's like it, but shorter. And bonus, I'm gonna share with you what I'm gonna study on my free days. Now, why do I want to read the Boron letters? Now, the short of it is that I want to get better at writing good copy. Like if mastering the art of public speaking is the road to self-confidence, I believe that mastering the art of writing well is the royal road to getting better at communicating your ideas and to really have like a meaningful impact on society. Besides that, there are a couple of really successful people that I have admired for many years and they all contribute the ability to write good copy as a huge part of their success. And yeah, it was just before the holidays. I watched a couple of videos, maybe spread out over a month or so, and they all mentioned the Boron letters. So that's why when it clicked for me, like, hey, I should spend some time actually reading this. Now, my first impression, like, it feels conversational. It's like very easy to read. It also feels real. It feels like, you know, like a real conversation. It feels grounded. Now, it also feels like something that I want to read every month of this year, because that's the sort of work it is. Like on a first read, you're gonna get something out of it, but the real value will come if you study it and keep it with you for a longer period of time. Now, what are the Boron letters in a nutshell? So it was written by Gary Halbert when he was in prison. He's a marketer and he was not imprisoned for selling bad stuff, but for tax fraud. And yeah, one of the things that he made big money with is selling family armor. So that's like a shield specifically made for your family name. And yeah, basically this series of letters is a masterclass in writing direct mail. Now, direct mail was something that was being done before the age of the internet. And basically these were letters that were sent to people's homes with the intention of selling goods. And it sounds really simple, but they were extremely successful in that. Now, there were only like a handful of people who were like extremely successful in this, and Gary Halbert was one of them. And he treats it like an art form. And it's a way of writing. It's like a system. In these letters, he talks all about it. Now, also, yeah, it's about success in life, in all aspects of life. So it's also about relationships, about health, and just about living life in general. It's about staying healthy. It's extremely positive with a strong bias for action. And it's just a wonderful tradition to pass knowledge on, because basically what he did, he was imprisoned, but you know, you don't need to be imprisoned for this. He took a month and every day he took 1 hour and he just was writing letters to his son. And I think this is something that every father can do. Like, I definitely want to do this sometime in the future, just take a month and really talk about my experiences, about my knowledge, and pass it down to my son. But also on a side note, like, I feel like I'm still on the up and up. So maybe in a couple of years when I have stacking sleep off the ground, that's when I will feel confident enough to really sit down and really talk about something. But that's on a side note. Now, what makes the Boron letters so good? Now, the idea here is like, it's about human psychology. And human psychology, it's the same it was back in the day, so way before the internet. So that's why a lot of those things they still apply. It's about finding a hot market, and a hot market is really important to sell something. It's about getting your copy on the A pile. So the A pile is like, the one person that sends you emails that you always open. That's called the A pile. It's about writing engagingly, so where you pull people in and they just keep on reading because they can't look away. That sort of writing. It's also about implementing AIDA, so attention, interest, desire, and action. And it's also about getting better by literally copying successful copy word for word, and to get very personal in that copy as well. Now, and also a campaign, a marketing campaign, is an experiment, so you should treat it like that as well. So move on if it doesn't stick. Next up, why it's like the 4-date laws, but shorter. Now, reading it once will get you the feeling this was the good stuff, and most likely you will remember very little of it. But it doesn't mean that it was not worth your time, because on the second reading, you will pick out a little bit more, and these are the things that I picked up on. So how to find a hot market. So a hot market, in this letters he discusses, what would you need to have a successful hamburger stand. So he discusses like options like a special sauce, a certain kind of meat, a certain kind of bun, and so forth. And the short of it is like what you want is a hungry crowd. So if you like a marketplace where people are already spending money, that means that if you start in that area as well, there is a likelihood that people are also willing to buy your products. And what you need to make sure of is that your product has like an edge, something that stands out and that makes it way better than the competition. Now also how to write engagingly, and what really stood out the second time is that while writing, he asks questions and then he answers those questions. So literally like, so what do you think about that? Well, one way to think about it is blah, 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 blah. And this is the writing style that really stood out. And in a way, he feels a bit like a novelist as well. Now, and also AIDA, attention, interest, desire, and action. And one of the examples that I heard in another video was that of, you go to the gym, and in the gym, some guys have like these really big jugs of water, like a gallon jug, like a milk jug. They have it full of water. Why is that? So that's like attention, like guys that carry big jugs of water. Now the interest here, of course, is like where you list like benefits. So like, apparently like if you want to get strong, you need good hydration. So that's the benefit. Like you want to get stronger, you need to drink a lot of water. And that also kind of leads into the desire. Like, most guys who go to the gym, they want to look stronger and be stronger. And then in the action part, you describe like, actually, it's not just water that's in it, but what they do, they add 1 tablet of magnesium, for example. I don't know if that's true, but they add a tablet of magnesium and a tablet of iron, and that's what's gonna get them really strong. You need to use this specific tablet. That's kind of the short of this idea, and I don't think I'm describing it perfectly, but that's really what I picked up on. Like it's a technical way of writing. It's leaning in on emotions. It's about really getting into the head of the person who you write it for, and really leaning in, and then with the intention of getting someone to take action, and the sort of action that you want. Now I found it really interesting because it really is like human psychology put to work. Now, and I'm sure that if I read it many more times, I will internalize it more. And what I also read online is that people, they read this a lot because the idea here then is that some of that writing, it will rub off on you and you will be able to copy that and internalize it. So you make it into your own style, you incorporate it, and that will make your writing much better as well. How I intend to use the Boron letters in 2026. So my intention is to read this every month. and the idea is that I will just skip over the parts that I already know, but I will study what I haven't mastered as yet, because this is really a gold mine. A lot of very successful people, they refer to this, so I'm going to take that extremely serious. And also what I will do is there are a lot of resources recommended, and those resources I will dive into those as well. And as a matter of fact, this is going to be the backbone of 2026. So in the weekend, when I'm not working on stacking sleep, guess what? I'll be working on getting better at this, because this year, for me, it's the year of copywriting. Now, my final thoughts for this video. It's meant to inspire you. Like what I'm sharing here on these Friday videos, this is my journey. Like I started this journey in August of 24, and actually way before that, when I was like a wannabe who wanted to start an online business. I have pivoted a couple of times, I've narrowed it down, and right now, stacking sleep, this is the one. I really deeply believe that. I think there's like an inflection point with the silent wave of people sleeping less and less globally. I think there's something here, and if I pull this forward, like not just a couple of years, but like a couple of decades, I really believe that this is going to be a thing that people are going to look at, like how many hours do you sleep, and it's going to be the same thing that smoking is these days, or you know, a high intake of sugar or a high intake of overly processed foods. I really think that in like a decade or so, you know, you're just going to take a saliva test, you're going to take a breath test, and based on that, AI can tell you like you need this, this, and this in order to be optimally healthy. And I think that a big outcome of that is going to be that people, you, me, everyone needs to sleep more. I think that a low quality of sleep is really what's keeping you back. And if you want to get an edge in life, you will need to simply sleep more. That's the short of it. I'm gonna explore that whole idea and that whole line of thinking in future videos, but that's like the track that I'm on right now. And I'm being very open about it, because I'm building this in public. That's why I do these Friday videos, and I can tell you it's messy. It's a bit all over the place. I lean a bit to the left, I lean a bit to the right, and I try to connect dots as I'm moving forward. But I'm getting more and more clarity, and I have my North Star. I really think that stacking sleep, like stacking more sleep on top of each other, is like the way to get better, to get healthier, and ultimately it's also gonna aid to the prosperity of mankind. I mean, just think of the creativity that this is gonna unlock. If you're more rested, you have more mental space, more mental energy, you're gonna be fitter, you're gonna be healthier. Benefits all around. But also, it's not a straight line, and I really noticed that, especially today, like for some reason, today I'm struggling to find the words. Maybe it's because it has been a minute since I made videos of this nature, but this is not a straight line, but I have like a really powerful conviction that this thing is gonna work, and I think it's gonna be impactful. It's a very important problem that I'm working on, because I deeply believe that sleep is a system like the human body. To a really big extent, it's a system that can be optimized. And right now, it's like a diet or exercise. We're simply doing the best that we can, but it's not optimal. And I really think that making this more optimal by stacking sleep, it's going to be a good thing. Not just for me, but for humanity. This is gonna move the needle, this is gonna have a very powerful, very positive impact. And ultimately, I think that's what it's about. That you spend your time, your energy on something that's worthwhile, not just for yourself, but for the people around you as well. So I fully realize that it's a bit rambly at the end, but Let me know what you want to get better at in 2026 yourself. And also let me know what you would like me to discuss in future videos. So that's it. That's the video.